Good evening, YouTubers. Cheers. It's tea time. Mm, mm, mm. Tennessee tea. Tonight's video is about doing things in reverse. I found these on eBay. Well, this was months ago. Actually, it was last year. And I knew exactly what they were. So this is what I would call working backwards. So these are, just like with my shot shell, these are powder bushings. And this one is, God, what number is this one? Some of them are hard to read. That is either a 6 or a 9. I can't recall. I have to put them in order. I think they were in order. So this is a 1. So the littlest amount of powder. So yeah, I don't know if you can see that. P1. Some may say it stands for powder. I say pistol, because it's a pistol powder bushing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, not 17, because when I bought these, of the 22 that were ever made, 17 was the one that was missing. So I had two quests ahead of me, and there is P18. Again, I don't know if you can even see that. This camera's really not good for close-ups. So my quest began, and this is what I love about what I call collecting. My family would refer to it as hoarding. Stage 1 pre-hoarder, stage 1 hoarder, who knows? I call it collecting, and I have an affinity for old stuff, maybe because I am old, and they don't make things like they used to. So I knew that I would find bushing number 17 somewhere. The problem is, some people know what they have. The person who had this really didn't know what they had, or didn't care, and just wanted to get rid of it. Like, putting the numbers on there when they're fucking stamped, engraved in there. It's just stupid. But whatever. Everybody takes care of their stuff differently, so I guess I shouldn't knock somebody. So I knew that I would find bushing number 17. Is it 17? Yeah, I think it's 17. I knew I would find bushing number 17. And then I knew I would find the actual Pacific, back in the day when Hornady was a separate company and acquired Pacific Reloading Components. And I'll show you that in a second. I knew I would find bushing number 17, and I knew I would find the Pacific powder measure. Pacific Reloading Tools and Accessories, a division of Hornady. So for those who don't know, or didn't realize, Hornady didn't start out in reloading. Hornady started out in bullets, and then with the acquisition of Pacific, moved into reloading, and has been in there ever since. That's why you'll still see the Pacific name on a lot of older components, like the 366 shotshell press. But on newer things like the lock and load AP, you won't see any reference to Pacific, because Hornady, post-Pacific acquisition, developed that, and therefore just had it as a Hornady product. So I found this totally by mistake. I watch eBay, and the prices are just ridiculous on some stuff. And there was a guy about a year plus ago who went to an estate sale, picked a bunch of stuff up, and this was one of them. And he put it online in one of the forums that I hang out in. And the only reason I found this was because I did a Google search on Pacific pistol powder measure. And then I clicked on images, and I found this image. And I did this simply because I don't want it bouncing around. I was really surprised to see the condition of what it was. So what it originally came with, and I don't believe any bushings shipped with it, but this particular offering had the mount, the which is just a piece of pig iron. And what really turned me on was the condition. I mean, this is unused. Look at that. Or if it was used, I can't say it was unused because you can see wear on the powder line there, but it was well taken care of. Whereas a lot of these you'll see, even with reloaders today, that they leave their powder in and it really fucks it up. So yeah, it was used, but it was well taken care of. I mean, it wasn't an abused, and this is the old 366 color as opposed to the deeper reddish maroon today. But it's very similar to a mech in terms of operations. Is it's one side then the other. That is off, powder drop, or rather powder drop when it comes here. So it's aligned with that hole. And what you do is you unscrew this and you put, and this is what was cool, you put a bushing in. And then that drops, your powder. So I was hoping when I saw this, one of these was 17. And lo and behold, let's see, this is a P6. So that means I'm looking for a thinner walled one. P16. And another thin walled one. P14. P11. There's a thin walled one. And here we go, the magic P17. So this will complete my set of all 22 of the bushings. And now I have some duplicates, which is always kind of cool. And some very old Lee dippers. In fact, I just picked up a set of 9mm dies that Midway had. I won't call them overpriced, especially considering how things are priced right now. But now the dippers are orange. So we've done red, black, yellow, and now we're on an orange tint. And the original instructions, along with a Lee 38 special load card, came in the box, and I copied it and then laminated, because I'll keep the original for completeness sake, but it tells you how to operate it and whatnot. So the only thing that's missing in this configuration is that black cap. And as it so happens, this black cap, I think it's time for another sip of tea. This black cap is not the same size as the powder drop on your lock and load, but it is the exact same size as the powder tubes or the shot tubes on your shotshell 366, because that again was a Pacific product. So I've reached out to Hornady to ask, how can I get my black top for an extra black top for my 366, so that will complete this. And I will tinker around to see how consistent this drops, but again, it's just like a mech in terms of the shot shell, as well as the 366, when you think about what the mechanism does for dropping either shot or powder. It's very simple, and it would be very consistent. In fact, it's very similar to the Lee, because of what Lee does in terms of the spring, and essentially instead of a bushing, Lee has the discs, and I think those are kind of cool too. I'm a fan of that as well. So, old stuff that gets a second life. I will probably mount this, clean it all up, mount it, and put one of my duplicate bushings in, and it will be good to go. So I think that was a pretty cool piece of history. In fact, I wonder if there's any... There's the box number. Pistol powder measure, Pacific. I don't see a reference to the year, but I'm going to say this is OAS, old as shizzle. So cheers, good night.